But David, I don't quite understand the
might-
point that you've just made there, and I'm sorry to be repetitive here, but the Constitution says in section 42, every senator and every member of the House of Representatives shall, before taking his seat, make and subscribe before the Governor-General or some person authorised by him an oath of affirmation. And then that oath is, am I incorrect in saying that that oath is spelt out, that every senator, every member must be faithful and pledge allegiance to whatever the sovereign might be? Are you saying that that isn't spelt out in the Constitution?
Oh, it is spelled out in the Constitution, but it only applies to taking your seat as a member of the House or as a senator. It doesn't apply to accepting appointment as a minister of the Crown.
Very good point. I see. Thank you for that.
And
you're
of course
right. It does say every senator and every member. So what you're saying is the Prime Minister and the various ministers, the Deputy Prime Minister and others, who didn't so swear, are actually that is their entitlement. I note that Kevin Rudd added in 2007 the reference to her people and her lands. When Albanese was asked in an interview prior to the coronation whether he was going to swear the oath of allegiance to King Charles, he said, "I do that every term." So in a sense, he was correct.
Yes, that is correct. He does swear that every time. He's a serial oath swearer to the King or the Queen.
Right.
And
Yes.
I find it difficult to understand how people can do this. Lydia Thorpe, for example, had to swear it, although she tried to make all sorts of reservations which the President of the Senate disallowed.
So your point is that as a senator or a member, they do have to swear allegiance to the sovereign. But as there's no such rules in relation, and you're dead right, I was reading the Constitution today and you're absolutely right, I omitted that point. There is no such provision for a Prime Minister or a Minister.
Exactly.
The Governor-General, where does the Governor-General fit in protecting this Constitution?
Well, the Governor-General's duty is to maintain the Constitution is there in Section 61. If you look at Section 61, it states that the executive powers of the Commonwealth are vested in the Crown or the Queen or King,
Yes.
and exercisable by the Governor-General and extend to the maintenance of this Constitution and the laws of the Commonwealth. So there is an obligation on the Governor-General.
But if you were the Governor-General representing the sovereign, wouldn't you think it odd that the senators and members must swear allegiance to the sovereign, but suddenly the Prime Minister of the day back in 1993 says, no, don't worry about that. You don't have to do that. Would not the Governor-General say it surely is appropriate for the higher beings within the government, namely the Prime Minister and the ministers, should so swear?
I think it would be highly appropriate for a Governor-General to advise the Prime Minister not to go to that place.
Yes.
But if the Prime Minister were to insist, it would be legally possible. Where I would also think that the Governor-General should give advice, private advice, which would not be binding, is, for example, in creating the portfolio, or at least the portfolio name, that one of the secretaries, parliamentary secretaries, should be known as the Assistant Minister for the Republic.
Absolutely.
I think that is appropriate.